Well, hello there. It's May 7th, and this is your Thankful Thursday destination. And again, I'm going to share with you a couple of different things I've received this week that I know to be thankful for, some things you have sent me to share with everyone to be thankful for. And again, we're just going to give the praise and the glory to God. So I've got my note cards here, a couple things I wrote down to keep me on track. So the first thing we'll start off with is we're going to read Mark chapter 5, verse 19. Here in Mark chapter 5, the Lord has cast the demons out of a man, and the man comes to the Lord wanting again to serve the Lord, and Jesus gives him a very direct response in what he should do after having demons cast out of him. So we're going to read Mark chapter 5 and verse 19. Again, this is Jesus' response to the gentleman, what he should do. Jesus suffered him not, but said unto him, Go home to thy friends, and tell them how great things the Lord hath done for thee, and hath had compassion on thee. Again, none of us have been possessed by demons and had them cast out, but we should be giving thanks to the Lord nonetheless. We should be telling our friends, our family, what great things the Lord has done for us. So in that spirit, that's why we're here. The Lord commanded this guy in Mark chapter 5, and he commands us to give thanks and praise to him. So that's what we're doing here today. So let's jump right in here. I want to share with you a text that I received last night from Bridget Jenkins. She has sent me a text, and I got permission to share that with you, so I'll do that now. And again, this is a text I received from Bridget Jenkins. And she writes, I've got a thankful Thursday. 2 weeks ago, I had a bit of a medical scare. Today, I got a great report at my follow-up. God orchestrated everything and put me in the best case scenario to allow everything to be handled in 1 week. I am so thankful for my health and for a God who sees me and takes care of me. Hope your week is going good. Again, that's from Bridget Jenkins. And Bridget hit something here. I love this word, orchestrated. God is constantly orchestrating things in our lives. He is constantly moving pieces around to bring about what He needs for us and what we need, even though we don't see it. He is intimately involved in our lives, and we have to take the time to slow down and just see what He's doing for us. Whether it's running into someone that you haven't seen in decades, and what it took to have you meet at a gas pump, say, and all the events that had to take place that where you would meet up at that exact moment. What God is always involved, and I love that word, orchestrated. God orchestrated everything and God put Bridget in the best case scenario to allow everything to be handled in 1 week. And we give God the praise and we give God the thanks again for working in that situation. The details are not important. The praise to the Lord is what matters. So again, thank you for Bridget for sharing that. Let me encourage you, if you ever have anything, no matter how simple, how large, just send it where I can share it with everyone. Again, we're not meeting as a church, but a church is more than coming together, singing songs, and listening to the word being preached. That's an important part of it, but also we should be a body of believers who care for one another, who are praying for one another, who are lifting each other up. And you can't do that if we're not talking with one another, if we're not sharing things about our lives. So let's do that. Let's do that a little bit more than we have been doing. So next card I got here, again, as with Bridget, just thankful for the Lord demonstrating His control. I look at the weather that we're having, unseasonably cool, strange winds, storms. But again, that reminds me how God is in control, even of the weather. He's in control of it all. It'll be cool when He wants it to be cool, no matter the season. It'll be warm when He wants it to be warm, no matter the season. God is in control of it all. But also, I was talking to Jay today at lunch, and we were just talking about how frustrating it gets and how easily you can get angry at watching the news and just seeing certain things take place around our country right now and how it angers you. And again, it's good to know that God is in control. It's good that we can rest in that. The Lord tells us, again, He's in control of the seasons. He raises kings up, rulers up, and He takes them down. Everything that is happening is to bring about God's will and the prophecies that he has left to fill in his scriptures. But again, we may not see it, but God is working, always is working to bring about his will. So again, thanks to God for being in control of the big things and the small things. Again, thankful to the Lord that looks like we're on the back end of this isolation, and we can start planning to have a service. We have not come up with a date. It won't be in the next couple of weeks, but we are throwing a couple of dates around because, we need to have a target of, there are things that we want to do it right, and there's things that have to take place. And so we're looking at a couple of dates. It will be sooner than later, and I'm not sure even what form that would be. And outside, inside, but we'll work all that out. But just thankful to the Lord that we're going to be able to gather together and sing his praises together with one voice. Giving thanks, it's important that we give thanks in the good times, the bad times, but also, at births, but also at death, we can give the Lord the thanks. Again, we're thankful for his death because of what it did and what he did for us by conquering death, that we may join him. But in death, and speaking of that, you may not be aware that Joyce Welch lost a dear sister this past weekend. Joyce is very close to her siblings, and she lost her sister Barbara. She had been ill for some time, and her passing was expected. They gave it, matter of fact, I think they told him within a few hours, a day or so, that she would be passing. So it was expected. God was gracious in giving them time to say goodbye. But again, God's made us people to love and to mourn the loss. And she is grieving and mourning during this time. And to give Joyce credit, she has isolated herself in her townhouse during this time. She has been very diligent about that, except for the occasional trip to Wendy's for lunch. I have been over a few times very carefully. She needed some stuff done around the house and taking care of that for her. But I say all that to say Joyce is isolated. She's in a time of grieving, and it would mean so much to hear from her church that they are praying for her, they are thinking of her, and they love her. If you don't have her contact information, send me a quick text. I'll get that for you. You can drop her a card or just give her a phone call. But that would mean so much to Joyce, and as we continue to pray for her during her grief. And the last thing we're going to mention is Mother's Day. Mother's Day is Sunday. We do say we thank the Lord for our mothers at all times, but we set aside a day, Sunday, once a year to give the honor and praise for God allowing the mothers to be who they are in our lives and loving us and guiding us, praying for us, directing us to the Lord. So I'm thankful. Again, we need to give thanks for our mothers. I'm thankful for my mother and also for the mother of my children, who is a wonderful, wonderful mother who is fiercely devoted to her children. And again, just thankful for her and just watching her love our children as they have been growing up. So also, dads, a little quick reminder, if you have anything that you need to get done for Mother's Day, you need to get it done. Mother's Day will be here before you know it. So just a quick reminder to you fathers, do not let it slip by. Do not be one of those men. So with that, I'll close out and just remind you, until next time, be thankful.